Hey, Mrs. Williams here, and this is problem 5.2.C-33. It says an employee who lives 23 miles from her place of work can either drive or take the subway. Use the following information to compare the relative costs of these two options. 1. A monthly subway pass costs $70. 2. Her car gets 28 miles per gallon of gas. 3. The estimated cost of gas is $4.10 per gallon. 4. She works an average of 22 days per month. How much will the employee save per month if she takes the subway? So we are talking about either driving or taking the subway. So I've broken the information up into those two categories. The subway is a little bit easier because it tells us the cost per month. And so just keep in mind in this question, that's what we're going for, is what is the cost per month? We want to compare the cost per month of the subway versus driving. So the subway is already there for us. We don't really have to calculate the cost. It's $70 per month. With driving, the items in 2, 3, and 4, and this 23 miles from her place of work, all of that has to do with driving. So I copied all that information down here. So remember, our goal is to find out how much she saves by taking the subway. So that is a dollar amount. So that's what we're going for. We're trying to figure out dollars that it costs her to drive. So that comes down to the distance that she drives and then the cost for each of those miles. So total per day, she drives 23 miles. If we take 23 miles and we double it, that's going to give us the total that she drives per day because she has to drive there and back per day. So that's 46 miles per day. Okay. Now we can start to figure out how much that is going to cost. Well, the cost is going to be affected by gallons because we see that the cost is in dollars per gallon. So if we try to go ahead and write out, starting with the 46 miles per day, how much that 46 miles per day would cost, we know that there are 28 miles per gallon. 28 miles are going to get used per gallon. So if I take the 28 and I look at my my units, that tells me actually that I want to erase that because I'm going to need to flip my miles underneath. And so you can think of this as 28 over 1. So I can say also that this would be 1 gallon per 28 miles. And you can see that my miles are going to cancel. So that's a good sign that I'm going at that in the right direction. And so far what we would get if we calculated right here this number, we would get it in gallons per day. That would be the numerical amount would be in gallons per day. Well, we want gallons per month. That's we're going to be able to use that to get how much it costs for each of those gallons per month. So what else do we have that involves gallons? That's dollars. So because gallons is in the numerator already, I want to cancel that out because remember our ultimate goal is money. So we should end up with just a dollar amount at the end of our calculation. So the units help us, guide our problem. So I can also, it's kind of strange, but even though you have a decimal here, you can still write that over 1. And in this case, I don't need to flip it over, but if you did, that is a tool you could use. Or if you just want to kind of be able to associate what do the dollars go with and what do the gallons go with, it's okay to do that. You don't have to. You can just write it as $4.10 and you can leave the 1 out. But again here, taking a look at our units, we're going to cancel out the dollars. So now we have dollars per day. That's what we have left. We have days over here that we still have in our problem, and we have dollars. And we know that she works 22 days per month, So if I say that I'm going to multiply this by 22 days per month, I know that that would be the right thing to do because my days in the denominator and the days in the numerator would cancel. So if I stop here, I'm going to end up with a dollar per month amount. And that's really what we want. If we look at the price of the subway, we already have that in terms of dollars per month, $70 per month. So this amount that we would get from this calculation is going to be in the same units, dollars per month. So if we calculate all of that, we can, and again, that's another good reason to write a 1 underneath, make a fraction out of everything. Everything in the top we're going to multiply together. 46 times the 1 right here times the $4.10 times 22 divided by 1 times 28 times 1 times 1. So we have 1, 28, 1, and 1. Doing that gives us 4,149.2 in the numerator, 28 in the denominator, and then we want to divide, and we get 148.19 or $148.19 per month because we have dollars per month, so I included that in our calculation. So that's good. Now we have how much it costs to drive in dollars per month, and that can be compared now to our subway cost because we have that in dollars per month. And we want to know how much would the employee save per month if she takes the subway. And so one other thing too that we want to do is round this to the nearest dollar, but we want to subtract. We know that it's 148 to drive, which is more than the cost of the subway. We want to know how much will she save. So that's a subtraction problem, and that would give us $78. So she would save $78 per month by taking the subway.